I saw you wearing a kippah.
I was wearing a kippah. I was kippa'd up.
If you don't know what a kippah is, it's a yarmulke. It's what the Jews wear, and you never get a straight answer as to why they wear it. But I've heard, an old Jewish man. I asked him once on the street with my buddies, and he was like, "Oh, it's just to cover up the bald spots." And I was like, "I don't think that's what it's for." But
I don't have a bald spot yet, thankfully. But I was wearing one at Adam Foo's wedding. My good buddy Adam Foo. It was a Jewish wedding, and it probably cost about $150,000 to throw this wedding, maybe more. And it was at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
that is so classy. Great decision to do that.
We get there at 1 p.m. to take photos. The first thing that's reported is somebody runs up, dude, Elon Musk is on the back lawn right now.
No.
Elon Musk is surrounded by security out there walking a dog.
Come on.
And I was like, let's go fucking find him.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are we going to do when we find him? And I said,
Big dick it?
we could literally say anything to Elon Musk and he'll love it.
Yeah.
Like, he'll love it. Like, just yell the N-word at him. Hey, Elon, you're a... And then the security will rush at us. And then Elon will be like, no, wait a second. I am technically African, so... And
he is definitely African American. It's messed up how they treat an African American here.
I have dedicated my life to free speech, so let the men shout the N-word at me. That's fine. Also, DJ Tiesto was there.
What?
Kind of a downgrade from Elon.
I don't know, man. He's up there with Elon for me, dude.
He's big time.
Yeah, he's played some probably arenas that were just crazy all over Europe and stuff. Like
He's
he was
big
the
time.
first big. Yeah, I feel like he's the first big DJ ever.
He's an OG. He was one of those guys where when EDM got popular with the hot white college girls, he was still in his prime enough to cash in.
Oh yeah, he cashed in.
Just every show he did in Vegas, $400,000 per appearance. So yeah, he's making money.
He's 4 college girls in his green room.
That's in his rider as well. No, we're saying Fez. But
Yeah,
we're going
but-
to talk about you having sex with girls later on.
Yeah, we are, Fez. We got a lot to talk about, Fezzy boy.
To continue though, I met. Guess who You're never going to guess who I met in the bathroom after touching my penis.
A man. You met a man. Okay, I presume it was a man.
This place was so star-studded. I'm taking a piss, and we're just like, my buddies are hammered drunk in the bathroom. I'm just like, you guys are fucking pieces of shit, blah, blah. Just bathroom talk at 11 p.m. during a wedding. I look up next to me. Jerry Jones from the Cowboys is taking a piss next to me at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Holy shit. Jerry Jones, one of my heroes.
The owner of the Cowboys.
Yeah, and that picture that's legendary where he's getting sucked, clearly.
Still gets trim.
Yeah.
Deep into his golden years.
It's amazing.
So I was just like, yeah, I'm looking forward to next season. And he was like, oh, thank you very much, my fine young man. He comes over and he insists on shaking my hand.
Really?
And I had at that point, this was at the sink actually, so I had washed him. I no longer had my dick out, but my hands were dripping wet and they'd been on my cock.
It's I'd be nervous to shake Jerry Jones's hand.
I was so psyched.
That's awesome.
He was so nice. I'm always going to kind of cheer for the Cowboys just based on how down to earth Jerry Jones was.
How many drinks deep do you think he was?
I think he probably had a few scotches. Got himself a few scotches, and he probably had just had sex with one of the most beautiful hookers in Los Angeles. And I think he was just feeling the afterglow, and I don't think he minded what was on my hand or how thoroughly I washed.
Yeah. He had just come from his room where he had probably a 22-year-old Ukrainian model.
I think she was American.
All right.
I think she was a UCLA volleyball player.
Jesus. You think because he's paying 10 grand.
More than 10 grand.
20 grand.
30 grand.
Okay, 30 grand. That's what A-Rod got caught with in Toronto, a $30,000 hooker. I presume Jerry's got the same hookup. They're friends. So
that's the move now.
He probably texts A-Rod and A-Rod gives him a madam's number. That's how it works. Then you hit up the madam and she's got you.
Yeah, and there's a number at which any girl becomes a hooker.
Yeah, that was in Secession. Remember your character, the Macaulay Culkin's brother.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you. The shady little brother that jerks off in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with some girls who don't know they're prostitutes yet.
Yeah.
But he was worth about $200 million, so he could make that happen.
Well, I think when you're Jerry Jones and you're worth billions. Yeah. I mean, he owns the Cowboys, which is valued at close to $5 billion. So there you go. So, I mean, if these girls just wanted to say arbitrarily, hey, add a 0 onto the figure and I will fuck you, Jerry Jones would be like, all right, that sounds mighty fine with me. Let's do it. But he shook my hand. He shook Danny Mullen's hand with a little P on it. Super cool guy. I'm now going to be always partially a Cowboys fan. Because what other owner would just do, after I was just yelling nonsense to my friends, like, hey, Leroy, you're a homo. My buddy Leroy was in there with me. But then let's backtrack a little bit to the wedding here. What actually do I want to talk about at the wedding?
Well, a quick question about Jerry Jones, though. What if you had insulted Dak Prescott? You think he would have been on board with that?
Well, they're in contract negotiations right now. So Jerry Jones wouldn't have minded if I had gone insane on Dak Prescott. And maybe Jerry Jones would have hoped somebody filmed the encounter because then that would be leverage. That's what we'd call leverage, Leo.
Yeah.
Like if a guy was seen accosting the owner of a football team with his penis out saying the quarterback was washed.
Yeah.
That would be, people in the press would be like, so first of all, this wasn't a great thing that happened to Jerry Jones. But secondly, does the man with his penis out have a point?
And many would agree that you'd be one of those guys. You'd be an internet hero. Maybe you'd be shunned. Maybe the regular media, CNN, wouldn't like you too much, but you'd be like a cult hero in the comments.
I think for Cowboys fans, I'd be a cult hero because that would mean that maybe they could knock $10 million a year off Dak's asking price, which is more money to pay for the defensive backfield. The wedding, though, Leo, I was wearing a kippah the whole time. And there was a pile of yarmulkes where they were passing out to everybody. And I, of course, wore one because it was silly and it was fun. And but I realized pretty quickly that whenever you're wearing a yarmulke, your perceived net worth goes up by about $500,000.
Yeah, that is kind of like, you could use it maybe to even score a higher end woman,
100%.
Kind of like in Goodfellas, when it's his better half. He claims he's Jewish. His better half, although he was not Jewish, but he did it to marry this chick.
Yeah. It can never hurt. It's having a yarmulke right there. It signifies good breeding. To women, the yarmulke is a signal that you won't hit them. You probably aren't a boozer. You might have a small dick.
But it's circumcised.
It's going to be circumcised, and therefore it's going to be clean. And I know that's a concept that's foreign to you. But
wow.
Taking the good with the bad, a yarmulke is a good thing. Fez, I honestly think you should do a Jewish makeover.
Oh, my God. I think he goes Hasidic.
I think you go Hasidic.
Yeah, I think you get the curls.
Telling me I should get, the curls.
Talk right into the mic.
The curls, the yarmulke on my head, and what else do they wear?
I feel like, are you bulletproof with a yarmulke and a fur coat? Is that ultra peacocking?
Yeah. I wasn't wearing one. I was wearing a tux, though. A tux is pretty close to a fur coat.
Jesus. You're wearing a tux and a yarmulke?
I was wearing a tux and a yarmulke all fucking night. And the wedding was a blast at the Beverly Hills Hotel. We did walkouts, sort of like the UFC. One of the groomsmen partners with one of the bridesmaids, and then we do these gates swing open, and in twos, like Noah's Ark, we walk out and take our seat at the wedding in front of like 400 people. Huge wedding.
She's not listening, so was the girl that you got to walk out with cute?
She was cute, but she was the hotter one was behind me. One group back.
Were you trying to kind of adjust your stance in the line? Were you trying?
This story does not end here, Leo.
Oh.
Because I eventually avenged myself and might have made something happen with the girl a little bit further down the line.
Okay.
Buddy is seated like a couple rows back. And I guess right when I burst through the gates and do my entrance, a random Jewish kid, his name's Kyle, by the way. He ended up, I'll find out, being a big fan. But he was just like, is that fucking Danny Mullen? Is Danny Mullen wearing a fucking yarmulke at this wedding? So this guy, just like who has no idea I'm there and who loves the channel, just sees me storm out of this gate at a wedding wearing a fucking yarmulke.
That is quite the entrance. Almost as good as Batman or something.
Dude, he just had no idea I was going to be there. This kid was fired up because he was. Shout out to Kyle. He said he was a patron too, just a diehard fan of the channel. I wanted to not be the obnoxious drunk dude chasing ass on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my buddies' wives now, it's increasingly they're all wives, not girlfriends, were there. And I didn't want to just be this like, give me, where's the vagina? I didn't want to be that guy out there because a lot of my friends' wives hate me. And that's one of the things that I love about Adam's wife is she's always been like, I think she like actually likes me, like doesn't hate me and is super cool. So as a gesture of respect, I didn't want to be the guy who got too drunk and is poon hounding front and center on the dance floor.
Yeah, of course. You don't want to call attention to yourself at a wedding. You know what I mean? You have to be humble.
I was very humble.
Good.
I was. Oh, another thing. This is a side note. At the bachelor party, this guy I shared a room with, I was pretty sure that somebody told me he was gay during the bachelor party. So I was sleeping. I was sharing a bed with a gay guy at the bachelor party.
Oh, boy.
In my head, or so I thought. And which I was totally cool with that, but I was just like, oh, this guy's gay. And there was a time when I was showering and drying off, and he walked into the bathroom.
Oh, boy.
And I was like, oh, fuck, dude, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I might have like made too big of a deal out of it. Well, he shows up to the wedding with like a smoking hot girl.
What?
And I was just like, oh. And he's like, oh, yeah, this is my girlfriend, Kiana.
Who's defaming him? Like
Somebody defamed him so hard.
That is messed up. You know what? I did that to Benedict Cumberbatch, an actor, for years.
Yeah.
I misheard something on like TMZ or something that he was gay, and I told everyone I know, I'm like, yeah, you know, Benedict, good actor, but he's gay, dude. I was telling everybody he's married.
Yeah.
He's married.
Yeah. So
same thing.
I was like, basically, my changing routine was drastically altered during the bachelor party because I didn't want to be naked in front of this guy to make it awkward. And it turns out he's just porking some super hot chick and he's not gay at all.
God damn it. Poor guy.
Poor guy.
You thought you were like giving him something to like jerk off to later on in the day, and
I just gotten off the flight, and I'm pretty sure somebody was like, yeah, so there's bedroom number 1. That one's got Tim and Lauren in it. Danny, you're going to be staying over there with Brian. He's gay. So, you know, just
messed up.
Maybe like make a pillow fort in the front of the center of the bed. But my strategy, so first there's one of the chicks who's one of the bridesmaids. I talked to her. She's Jewish. She kind of knew about the YouTube video thing, the YouTube channel. So I was like, all right, that's an asset going in my favor. We had a flirtatious interaction. And so I went out too early. I put cat string theoried it. When I sensed she wanted to talk some more, I beelined it. Not to the bar, but upstairs to my mouthwash because I'm kind of sick right now. And you know how there's backflow.
Sure.
When you're sick, of mucus that makes your breath abominable. So I, every 30 minutes, was having to rush upstairs and gargle out with Listerine. Another option was a cute blonde girl that I took to the bar with me and started talking. And right when we started embracing and kind of getting close to each other and handsy, speeches arrive.
Oh.
Time for speeches, which is a giant cock block, Leo, because the speeches go on forever and ever, and they're always self-serving.
Yeah, everybody really just tanks the speeches at a wedding.
Not my man Spencer at this wedding. One of Foo's buddies, Spencer, who is, he looks like he's 22, like really young-looking kid, total backup quarterback in high school. Hot girlfriend, pussy, guy who gets pussy. He gets up there and he fucking annihilates his speech.
Wow. What did he do?
Dude, he was just super loose and unconcerned. The entire, it was a 400 person wedding.
It's terrifying.
And there are elderly Jewish people who can't even hear the speakers because, they left their hearing aid at home.
Sure.
So they're all just chatting amongst themselves. A lot of the guys in the groomsmen party are just blacked out drunk. Like one of the guys, I mean, a lot of them are club promoters that Adam met in Las Vegas. So they're all doing lines off the fucking,
oh my God,
off their plates.
Oh,
They got flasks in their jacket pockets. Everybody's fucked up. Nobody's listening to the speeches. But this guy Spencer wins the crowd over, is murdering.
Jeez.
With very subtle, not trying too hard jokes in the script. Just fucking kills it. And I compliment. I give him his due on the speech the whole fucking time. We'll come back to that because giving him his props on his speech, that served me later on. But one of the Jewish girls who I was hitting on in line, they're not really coming into my vicinity. You know how it is. On the dance floor, if a girl wants you, she'll come into your vicinity. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Fez. Fez is over
knows,
there.
Huh?
Fez knows.
Oh, yeah, I bet you know.
A guy like you always is going to get approached by anyone.
Average
women. But high quality women, gonna hurt to get.
What are you saying? He just basically just said that you can only get average women.
Did you forget what happened in the pickup video? You ingrateful little shit.
Oh well, he probably did because he doesn't remember much of it. We should have strapped a GoPro to his forehead.
As Leo said, I could just face fuck you right now, and you wouldn't do anything about it. That's how drunk you were that night.
Damn.
And I was getting very above average women that night.
There you go.
Little twit. But not this night, Fez. You're right. Not this night. Nobody was really approaching. And again, all those watchful eyes of the wives who hate me, who I was on my best behavior for, because I want to start getting invited to more social events. But at some point, this one really alt chick who honestly looked like she would be right at home in the trans nest, this house.
Nice.
She got it into her head that she wanted to blow me.
Oh, boy.
And she kept coming in hot. And telling multiple of her friends kept coming up to me like, hey, have you met Ingrid? Or like, have you met Natasha or whatever her name was? And I was like, yes, this is the fourth time somebody's tried to introduce us. She kept coming up and just bumping into me on the dance floor and all but fucking groping me. and if I had been drinking, which I wasn't, I would have, in a moment of... Had it been just a month earlier, a couple months earlier, or last year, for instance, when I hadn't turned over this new leaf to not be the pussy werewolf in front of all my friends' wives, I would have taken this girl by the wrist out into the lobby, past Tiesto and Elon Musk and Jerry Jones to the front desk. I would have slapped down my credit card, spent $1,200 on a room, and had sex with her and just abandoned the ceremony.
Nice.
But wanting to be a good friend, stayed until 2 a.m. at the wedding, dancing, having a good time, fucking holding up the chair.
Yeah, that's a job that you must do at a Jewish wedding.
Rocking out on stage when later in the night, some more self-indulgent songs came on. We got some Smash Mouth, some Ozzy Osbourne, some Blink 182. Nice. Adam Foulad was just drenched in sweat because when it's your wedding and you're Jewish, you just have to dance all fucking night.
Nice.
I was mixing it up with young Jewish fans of the channel, old Jewish fans of the channel who like the Palestine stuff, having a great time. And when the lights come up, it's 2 a.m. I'm going home. Spencer, who annihilated his speech, comes up to me and he's like, dude, Danny, I was talking to this one girl, insert name here. And I was like, so Britannica, that's her fake name. Were you having fun tonight? And Britannica's like, oh, yeah. And this is Spencer again. He's like, so if you woke up next to Danny Mullen tomorrow morning, how would you feel about that? And he's reporting this to me. I was like, there's no way you asked her that. And he's like, yeah, man, I did. And she was like, honestly, I wouldn't really mind.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, what? And this girl, Britannica, was the girl that I tried to make a move on at the bar before the fucking speeches started, and it ended up being super awkward. And she never came back to my sector of the dance floor. So I was like, it's fucking over. But I was like, wait, Spencer, this is real. You asked her if she wouldn't mind waking up next to me, and she said she wouldn't. And he's like, yeah, bro, fucking go make it happen. And I was like, this guy's the fucking MVP of the wedding, dude.
It's nice.
Slaughters his speech and just hooks a man up for no reason. And that just shows you kids the power of a compliment. Just complimenting his speech. Yeah. No, he's a homie. I was hanging with him all bachelor party and shit. But I find this girl, the lights are up now. This is a true story from the wedding. An announcement came over the loudspeaker. One of the family members is missing a diamond bracelet. If anybody sees a diamond bracelet on the dance floor, let us know. And there was no anxiety, like no worry that anybody was going to steal this because of just how nice of a wedding it was. You just diamond, not your Wells Fargo debit card with $38 on it goes missing. A fucking diamond
bracelet.
But I take this girl. I was like, I feel like we didn't really get a chance to dance. So want to go have a slow dance over in that corner over there behind the table?
I bet. And
so we just go slow dance and start making out while the fucking lights are on at the wedding.
That's the best.
Respect.
That's how you do it, dude. And then now the wives hate you again.
No, they were all gone at that point.
Perfect.
And it was tasteful. It was very tasteful. This was acceptable. This was the respectable way to court a woman.
Yeah.
But then we go back to the...
Gonna be first.
What's that?
So it's going to be the first on Danny Mullen, am I right? The first.
Oh, the first respectable courting?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, it's funny. That's funny. Thank you, Fez. We go back to the bridal suite, though, the $7,000 suite, because there's going to be the after party. And, the shady part of my brain is like, yeah, I'll take her out behind a bush on the patio. And right away, security just descends on the place, though. And they're like, only the bride and groom can be in this suite. And a lot of people start fucking giving the security guard a lot of grief about this because, hey, maybe the price of a pair of Porsche 911 turbos was spent on this wedding.
Yeah, respect.
Respect,
money
maybe.
talks.
Maybe
Yeah.
bend the rules a little bit. But the problem is, like, maybe Tiesto and Elon Musk are next door to this suite. And they've, spent a penny too. Yes, security? Yes, there's seems to be a couple having sex loudly in the suite next to me. Yeah, Adam, too, carries his bride into his bridal suite, and he trips on the threshold and eats shit and, like, bashes his head on the edge of a statue and is bleeding out of his forehead.
Oh, man. Worst case scenario.
Yes, and then also there's just like a fight going down between wedding guests and the security in the hallway about being able to after party at this room. And so the girl that I'm trying to court gets kind of freaked out and calls an Uber. But it was, to be fair, like 3:30 a.m. at this point.
Yeah.
But as a wise man once said to me, if you get a makeout, it's a good night.
It's a good night, dude.
And I averted disaster by this much. The lights were up. It was 2:15 a.m. And I got to make out, Leo.
It's a successful night, man. It's another wedding where you courted a woman that saw true love in front of her, and she was weak, in a way, and you didn't take advantage of her, but you took.
Yeah, what the fuck is
took a
that?
little-
Yeah, like she was a wounded sheep.
You might have
And I was
taken
some
a
sort
slight. You know what?
How did I take advantage of her? Tell me, educate
what?
me.
It's girls are all a little vulnerable at weddings. All right, we all know that. We all know this.
Anytime you court a woman at a wedding,
It's cheating.
it's almost roofing them.
It's almost roofing them. They are. The drug of love is flowing through their veins, and it's a powerful drug, as you know.
So-
Dopamine is just like,
So when that glass got stepped on to whatever, I'm not sure what that consecrates at a Jewish wedding. It was like roofies just were dissolving in that girl's stomach right there.
100%.
A roofie hit her belly when that happened.
Her inhibitions left her body. She's like, I want to experience true love myself.
Damn.
And
Well,
it
I
could
wish I
be
would
with
have-
this tall, handsome man.
I wish I would have made my move earlier then because I waited until way too late.
You almost had it. You know what I mean? I mean, you could follow it up, but why follow it up after the wedding over? Like, there's no reason to.
It's just such a beautiful memory. Such a beautiful memory. And my buddy Adam, who started my YouTube channel, the first filmer on the channel, I would not have it without him. Beautiful wedding. His wife kicks ass. Her and I get along. She doesn't hate me.
It's huge.
So, and they're going to be, I mean, Jesus, that they just get the best life. They're just going to be living large in Beverly Hills and just fucking wearing shiny shit for the rest of their days. So congrats to them. And I'm an honorary Jew. That's basically the bottom line.
What a successful night at the wedding. That's crazy. You did a lot. So the bachelor party was like a week or
3 days.
3 days, then plus a wedding.
And then plus a signing where they signed some Jewish document that consecrated something. And again, the dollar figures that were getting thrown out for the overall cost of this, because there was also a ceremony in Vegas where they got legally married, a party in Vegas. Then there was another pre-party before the signing that I didn't go to. Again, there were astronomical figures getting tossed out for what this thing cost, like somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million.
If it's traditional, I mean, I think Adam saved some cash here because I think her family pays for a lot of the wedding, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, her parents look pretty loaded too. Her some people were saying her mom's pretty hot, so
Did you take a look?
I might have taken a look.
Might have taken a look.
Good,
huh?
good family, good family. That's all I'll say. But it's just some people. I sometimes feel guilty because I'm like a fucking piece of shit white boy, just prancing through the world.
Using that white priv.
We're using that
everywhere you
white
go.
priv.
Yeah.
But like you and I, Leo, we've got some priv, but there are tiers to priv
There's tiers of priv, and we're still in the minor leagues, as we say.
when it comes to priv, because there was some fucking privilege at this wedding, dude. Where, I mean, there was some fucking privilege, but it was great. You got that privilege. You raise good kids who aren't pieces of shit, and they raise kids who aren't pieces of shit, and privilege is a good thing.
Absolutely.
We should not deify poverty and poor choices.
Did you make you think about your own wedding one day at all?
Yeah, I think so. I think it made me think that at some point, the time will come where I will. I'm trying to think what it made me think exactly. I guess it just made me realize that getting married is a really big commitment and you shouldn't fucking half-ass it. Because clearly Adam dated for a long time and chose his wife very wisely.
Yeah.
And when you sink that much money into it like they did and you invite that many people and there's that many fucking events, if they get divorced, they might as well just both commit suicide to avoid the shame. Because there's going to be a lot of fucking shame.
Yeah.
And they're never going to get divorced. That's what Jordan Peterson, I heard him talking about that a marriage is an important ritual because it publicizes your intent to remain faithful to each other. And that's what went on. This was a big event in the name of faith. So yeah, it just made me realize a time will come when you want to get married. And when that time does come, you better fucking choose wisely, buddy.
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure you only do it once.
Yeah, the Italians, they kind of tell you to choose wisely your side piece because she could ruin your marriage. You must choose a loyal side piece and maybe even spend more on the gifts for the side piece.
Sure.
Because you want to keep her happy.
Sure. So
this is from The Sopranos.
So the Jews might say choose your wife wisely.
Choose your wife wisely.
The Italians say choose your side piece wisely.
Correct.
So be more selective about who you cheat with.
Correct.
Your wife can be kind of dumpy as long as she does the laundry, kind of keeps her mouth shut.
Like the Italians, the Latinos are similar. You can look at El Chapo, for example. His wife and his side piece didn't talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a man who had it right.